Hey everyone, and welcome to chemistry. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand what you will learn in chemistry and how this class will run. This is a very good example of how this class will run. So, hopefully, you can get some good information from this. So, first off, what is chemistry? It is defined as the branch of science that deals with the properties, composition, and structure of elements and compounds, how they change, when they're put through a reaction, and the energy that is released or absorbed when they change. This course is pretty rigorous because it doesn't just involve science skills, it also involves math. There are certain topics that we're going to cover that kind of are overarching that multiple topics will fit under. And those three, the first one is matter. So we'll look at properties and changes of matter. We'll look at the conservation and transfer of energy, and then we'll look at the interaction between both of those things. For this class, we will have certain types of assignments that you need to be prepared for. First, you'll start every lesson with a video and a set of guided notes. You just fill them in from the video, just like you would be doing from this video. You'll have group activities on each lesson, and these, depending on how the class runs, how all the students are working, how the grades are looking, these could be either mandatory or optional, so we'll just kind of make that adjustment as the class progresses. You'll also have a mastery check on each lesson, and this is usually no more than 10 questions. I think some of my longer ones are 20 questions. Basically, it's like a practice, and you get a chance on it, try again. We're aiming for specific grades on those. You'll get review activities for the end of the unit. These are really good just to kind of help solidify those ideas that you've learned. You do have interactive notebooks. These are going to be on paper for this course, so please make sure you get your 5-subject notebook. You'll have vocab quizzes, and you'll have labs. These labs we'll talk about a little bit later here, but they are more in-depth than any other science class that you've had. You'll have a test with each unit, except the last one, and you will have projects as well. So first, let's talk about this interactive notebook. So this is where you will house your notes and your group activities. Your mastery checks will not come back to you once they're finished. They will stay with me, but you will put notes and group activities here. This does count as a project grade for each unit. So projects and tests count the same. For those of you who struggle a lot with just testing in general, this is one way I kind of help alleviate that, is giving you a project grade for your notebook. If you only do the must-dos, so if you only complete all of your notes and your mastery checks to mastery, then you will receive either an 80 if you're in honors or 70 if you're in standard. If you complete all of those must-dos as well as your should-dos, so all of your labs, all of your group activities, those kind of things, you'll receive a 90 for honors or an 85 for standard. And then if you do everything, including the aspire to do, which is going to be like a formal lab report and or a review, then you'll get 100 no matter what section of the class you're in. This is an all or nothing grade. So if you do all of your mastery checks, but then you only do 3 of the 5 should do's, you don't get credit for any of those should do's. So you would have an 80 or a 70 as your grade. I'm not going to give partial credit for one of those sections. So now we can talk a little bit about labs. These are very important. You will do a lot of them in this class. So you'll be in groups of 2 to 4. Depending on what the lab is. They're either going to be guided, that should be and or inquiry. So guided means I supply a procedure for you. Inquiry means that you are going to be given a question and you have to try to figure out how to answer it. So these are a little bit tougher, but I'm expecting you to be creative in your procedures there. You will have multiple labs per unit, at least 2, so just go ahead and prepare to do a bunch of these. And then you will have formal lab reports. Right now, I think I only have 1 scheduled per quarter, but this could change as we go, especially if you guys get really good at writing them and you want some more project grades. Always remember safety first. This is very important. If you don't follow the lab safety rules, we will not do labs. So here's a basic outline of what a unit would look like. You'll start each unit with a Science Your Way day. This tends to be on the test day of the previous unit. We'll start and it goes into the next day. And this is where I will give you some sort of question. You will answer it in an inquiry way. And then we'll test it. So you guys actually get to test your procedure to see if it gives you data that's usable for that question. After these days, and you'll start your unit vocab. That's in your interactive notebook. After these days, you'll have unit lessons. I try to schedule your semester as one lesson per day. Certain ones you'll see I can double up, but you can work as quickly or as slowly, just like we learned in the MCP lesson, as quickly or slowly as you need to. So if you cover more than one, that's great. If you only get one done, that's okay too. Try to aim for at least one a day. But the amount of days here will vary depending on how many lessons are in each unit. You'll have a notes set and a video, a group activity, and then a mastery check for each lesson. Then once you finish those, you move on to the next lesson, especially if you're waiting on me to grade your mastery check, because if I have a lot of people turning them in at one time, I may not get yours graded during that class period. So go ahead and move on to the next lesson. Don't wait on me. You'll have a review day. This is just a day to get caught up on stuff for the unit, as well as reviewing for the test, and the test will be the following day. Grades. So this part is not in your notes. I'm just going to hit these points as well. So grades. All assignments for your unit are due at the beginning of the test day for full credit. So you've got to make sure to turn that into me on test day. If anything is completed online, if we have some, mastery checks that I happen to put online, we have some labs that you turn in online, things like that. They're due at 11:59 the night before the test. And then your grading scale, which was discussed in the syllabus, your daily assignments are 20%. Those are your mastery checks. Your minors, which are quizzes and labs, are 30%. And then your majors, your tests and projects, are 50%. For late credit, this is going to be a little different than you might be used to in other classes. So no matter how late an assignment is, if it is 2 minutes late or 2 months late, the highest grade you'd be able to receive is an 80 in an honors class, 70 in a standard class. The only assignments that I'll accept late work on are second attempt mastery checks, which means you have to have attempted the first one on time to get that second attempt. Quizzes and labs. And some things you need for class. Again, these are in your syllabus. So you need pencils, blue or black ink pens, colored pencils, a college rule bound notebook. This is going to be your lab notebook, and a 5-subject notebook for your interactive notebook. Make sure you always bring your Chromebook charged and ready to go. And then a good attitude, because you're not going to be successful in here if you come in griping and moaning every day.